待会马上要进行是国王队主场迎战超级。
因为在今年和国王队来比啊，很多球员确实还不够，所以在今天这场球赛里边呢，有个关键时刻，你不能够光看林安人一个人嘛，因为今天国王队对于他的防守肯定会做进一步的调整。
其实在第二战已经对他的3分外线做了相当彻底的防守，不过他的切入跟威胁呢，还是让其他的队友有蛮多的机会。那今天就要看看那其他的球员呢能不能跟上来了。
而且命中率这么高，真的是让每个人都有点意外。
好，不过我们也同时要来看看呢，在这个 James 方面，这一场比赛也是表现当不错，在对上过去的老东家国王队，连续2场球的这个得分跟篮板球都是相当不错，球迷一定会倾巢而出。
Ray Allen for Jordan Lewis, Reggie Evans, and Jerome James, the man of the playoffs of Seattle. Bibby, Cuttino Mobley, Peja Stojakovic, Kenny Thomas, Brad Miller, Sharp. For the Kings, with Tom Tolbert and Jim Gray, Mike Tirico here in Arco. Seattle won game 1, 87-82. Seattle won game 2 by a dozen at home. You know the story. When you're down 2-0, it's tough, but you just saw what Philly did. There's no energy like down 0-2. Home for game 3. Tom, what do you see as the keys for Sacramento tonight?
Well, Sacramento, it's all about ball movement. The last couple games, guys have been coming down, going one-on-one, no ball reversals. Tonight, it's about moving the ball, getting open shot, playing Kings basketball.
Rashard Lewis, the miss. Jerome James, the rebound and the putback. So the man who has been unconscious in this series, coming off 19 points, 9 rebounds in game 2, after 17, 15, and 5 blocks in game 1.
Well, that's one thing that can always nullify a crowd. It doesn't matter if it's regular season or playoffs. If you're a good offensive rebounding team, that's consistent.
Brad Miller trying to go at James, get him in foul trouble, doesn't get a call from the officials. Eddie F. Rush, Wayne Reichelt, and Joe DeRosa working the game tonight. Luke Ridenour on the point for the Sonics. He hasn't scored a lot, but he has not turned the ball over at all in this series.
Well, the other thing's important too, Mike, for Sacramento. Leave the officials alone.
James across the lane. Jerome James continuing this unbelievable run. This is truly out of nowhere.
Oh, do we know how long it took them to take the Shaq DNA from Miami and transport it here? We're out to Seattle. He's been unbelievable. We're talking about a guy that's averaged 5 and 3 in the regular season, and right off the bat, offensive rebound, get it going. Nice little layup, and then the move in the middle. I mean, this guy right now, and a block shot. 4 points, block shot, offensive rebound, off to another great start.
Offensive foul, Mike Bibby for Sacramento. So Seattle can quiet this crowd going up 6-0. James trying to dump it down to Reggie Evans. Good job by Bibby to be in the passing lane. And Bibby and Stojakovic get going. They have not early on, and Bibby draws the foul on the second-year guard out of Oregon, Luke Ridenour.
Those are the type of shots that better go in or you better draw a foul. Because those are the type of shots that they have been taking throughout the course of the first couple games. Quick shots, no passing. Mike Bibby did a nice job getting himself to the free throw line.
Mike, 1 of 16 shooting in game 1, had 16 points in game 2. The loss on Tuesday night. As he hits his first, let's join Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, Mike, we spoke to Rick Adelman before the game. He is not happy with the way his starters have played. He said, guys, we have not been able to compete. We're not selfish players, but we've been playing very, very selfishly. I hope our starters will compete tonight. In the past, I grew together with these guys, but this is a new group, and I don't know what to expect. What I do know is if we don't wake up, we'll be done. Mike?
And Jim, you made a good point. You've been covering Kings playoff games for this 7-year run here for Adelman and company. Very candid, very honest about his team's inabilities to play together in that last game. The starters sat the whole fourth quarter. James the miss. Bibby comes back. 4-3. 4-4.
And I think more so than anything in that fourth quarter, the subs deserve to play, but you give your starters attention. Hey, you guys didn't compete. You're not going back in. I don't care how close this game gets.
Screen up high by James. Ridenour continues to struggle with his shot here in the series. Still 2 of 18 from the field.
They need to make him a scorer. Not let him be a facilitator. Make him shoot the ball and be a scorer.
Kenny Thomas connects. If Sacramento can bring it early, they will get a ton of energy. This is, as you know, just like it was up in Seattle in Key Arena, 2 of the small, metal roof, loud houses. They can blow the roof off this place at any time. Reggie Evans, a rebounder, not a scorer. pitched it out to Rashard Lewis. 3-second violation called here on Seattle. Here's Nate McMillan. You may have been watching SportsCenter, heard the stories. There was a unattributed directly to LeBron James quote that LeBron might like to play for Nate McMillan. Candidly, who wouldn't? Nate has shown his mettle as a coach here, and we'll develop this as we go on. But Nate was telling us before the game, it's not a distraction to his team. They've been dealing with the uncertain status of the coach, the GM, and 8 players on the playoff roster all season. They're just glad to be 2-0, and they bring it together when on the floor. Thomas on the tape. Seattle the first 4, Sacramento the following 8. Ray Allen off the screen, hasn't taken a shot yet. Coutinho Mobley closely guarded. Tough shot. Oh. Good player.
You wonder why some guys are all-stars, some aren't? There's your answer right there. Hey, that is an unbelievable shot.
Mobley a response. A 3. Mobley very vocal and speaking with him at practice yesterday how somebody needs to step up. He'd be glad to do it. He just got stepped around by Allen. Evans gets the rebound.
Well, you know, that's what he's in there for. He's in there to bang, be physical, and gather up offensive rebounds. It was Ray Allen right in the middle that made the big guys come over and help. It opened up the opportunity for Reggie Evans.
Peja Stojakovic yet to get a clean, open look. Bibby got the bump, got the step. Beautiful reverse underneath.
Here you look now, the past 2 possessions, they have not settled for jump shots. It's been taking it to the rim, getting there, layups by Kenny Thomas, and then Bibby.
Featuring Ray Allen, again, James Freedom with a devastating screen.
He's one of those guys when he's open, you're shocked when it doesn't go in. And he is just that good of a shooter.
Thomas, deep shot for him. Sacramento field it now from the field. They have opened 6 of 7 here tonight.
You got to be careful with those type of shots. When they're going in, it's great, but you're still not getting a lot of passing. When they stop going in, can you recognize it?
Good defense by Lewis to shut off the baseline on Stojakovic. Rittenauer continues to struggle. He's missed both field goals. This is Jerome. You know, Reggie Evans foul. Reggie Evans going to get whistled for this one.
I think on any pick and roll with Luke Rittenauer, you got to go under. You got to make him a scorer. Don't let him be a passer. Don't let him find somebody else that's open. Make him shoot the ball until he starts feeling comfortable shooting.
Team foul on Seattle. Bibby working Rittenauer, who swiped it away. Luke looking for teammates. Has none. Goes all the way. Miller in the way. Good defense by Bragg. The Kings come back. No numbers. Peja, a 3. Evans cleans the glass. 12th in the league in rebounding. Best single rebounding season since Sean Kemp for Seattle back some 8 years ago. And Nate McMillan will take time out here. Good early shooting for both teams, especially Ray Allen of the Sonics. 2 of 3, trying to quiet that hot 6 of 9 start for Sacramento. If you include his regular and postseason, Jerome James has played 276 NBA games. These games came completely out of nowhere. Game 1, the 19 points to 15 rebounds, 5 blocked shots, a defensive presence in the middle. Then game 2, no way you can follow that up, right? 9 of 11 shooting from the field, 19 points, 9 rebounds. Such a presence and exuding confidence, Tom, of those games that he's played in his career, 276. This was the 2nd and 4th best scoring efforts. And we asked all the Sonics, were you surprised? Were you surprised? And guys said not really, because we've seen him do it. He was surprised that he did it back-to-back nights.
Well, you don't see it for a complete game. You may see a quarter, you may see a half, but to see a game and then 2 games in a row. The question I have, and it'll be interesting to see how he responds if he goes through a bad stretch of 4 or 5 minutes. You know, can he go 0 for 3, maybe commit a couple fouls, and still continue to go? Sometimes role players, it's easy when things are going great. When they start to go downhill, do you keep doing well, or do you defer to everybody else?
Allen doubled, fires a triple in this. Rebound, 2 guys on the ground, both in green. Seattle can't come away with it. So numbers from Mobley. Over the top. You know, with Jerome James, you mentioned foul trouble. I think that's huge. During the season, he averaged 1 foul every about 5 minutes. Thus far, he's gone every 12 and a half minutes or every quarter with just one foul. So he's been able to stay on the court and allow himself to get into a flow, be productive, and disrupt what Sacramento's been doing. Standing around here as they try to set up Lewis. That's farther away than Seattle likes to start him against Page. Rittenauer triple. 0 for 3 tonight. James keeps the possession alive. And it's the second time he's tossed it away when going up in the air. Nate McMillan knows that.
Well, as a big guy, you're not used to handling the ball and making those type of plays. Just get the rebound, take a deep breath, look, and make the easy pass.
Nice move by Kenny Thomas, who has come out and given plenty of offense to the Kings. All 4 field goal attempts are makes. He leads all scorers with 8.
So he recognized he had Jerome James out on the floor. Nice move.
Reggie Evans inside, the third-year man, undrafted out of Iowa. Just a rebounder, very raw player, but his offensive skills have slowly developed under McMillan's tutelage here in Seattle.
Kenny Thomas going to have a jump shot anytime now. They're going right at Jerome James. I'm watching whoever Jerome James is guarding, that's who they're running the pick and roll at. And then they're just coming down the lane, and James isn't able to get over there in time. That's 3 times they've had layups going around James.
And the Bibby Rittenauer matchup right now is all Bibby. Here is Luke, 0 for 4 from the field until he's able to knock down that shot. The Sonics' first-round pick in the middle of the 2003 draft, opening round. The owner left free. Thomas misses for the first time tonight, and back come the Sonics. Guard Lewis, step on Stojakovic, comes right at Brad Miller. He missed it. Thomas gets the board. Outlet to Peja, has Mobley with him. Good run by Rittenauer. Adelman can't believe a foul wasn't called. Bibby, Peja, a 2.
You know, the Kings did a nice job that time passing ahead. They don't have a team that really can off the dribble fly up the court. When they're best in the open court is when they start looking ahead and passing ahead. They missed the first shot, but ultimately Peja with a wide open jump shot.
James up top to a rub to get Rittenauer. The pass to Allen, 5 to shoot for Seattle. Good defense, Mobley. Took it away. No foul call. The run out, Bibby. Sacramento's open 10 of 16 from the field. They lead by 8. And listen to the house at Arco. Good job by Mobley to knock it out of bounds.
This is where the home crowd helps you the most, on the defensive end. The adrenaline helps you on defense. You're able to sustain playing defense longer. And then when you're running the lanes, both getting back in transition on defense and on offense, it just pumps you up a little bit more.
First subs of the night. Seattle brings in 3. There's Vladimir Radmanovic, which we talked about braids in his hair. He, Antonio Daniels, and Nick Collison check into the lineup for Seattle.
I didn't know Venus and Serena had a brother.
Travel on Lewis. Seattle turns it over for the 5th time here tonight. Nate McMillan doesn't allow headbands, so when Vladimir's hair was so long,
he allowed that?
Yeah, his sister Game 1 put the two together. He went and got that professionally done for Game 2. These single braids on, which I know you're very familiar with. It cost $100. The shop that did it comped him when he left a $100 tip. Mobley. Nick Collison, technically a rookie out of Kansas, double shoulder surgery, said all last year. A good part of this big man rotation for the Sonics. Allen off the curl. And there's Collison on the glass. Foul, Ray Allen on Bibby. First on Ray. The energy has come from the team that needed to provide it. Much like you saw Philadelphia do as they beat the Pistons by 11. Sacramento's down 0-2. They're playing desperate. They're on top by 8. Game 3 here in Arco. This This is the 3-6 battle in the West. Sacramento on top by 8. Getting some easy stuff here, Tom.
Well, getting right to the rim. They have 10 points in the paint. It's not because they're working the post up. It's because they're beating people off the dribble. See Kenny Thomas going right at Jerome James off the pick and roll. Mike Bibby right into his body. And then the pass ahead. Mike Bibby once again. Nice layup. Sometimes that's the best way to attack a shot blocker because they're coming off the ball blocking shots. If you can get right into their body and force them to block a shot that way, a lot more difficult. 10 for 17 early on, doing a much better job of being aggressive.
And a great start for Bibby, too. 4 of 5 from the field, 10 points. First Sacramento sub is Darius Sungaila. He's coming to the game. Give Brad Miller a rest. Stojakovic, catch and shoot. You know, Peja Stojakovic's playoff shooting is significantly off his regular season numbers. That trend continuing in this series. Allen's drive started this. Antonio Daniels to Radmanovic, great shooter. That one he was not set. Lewis keeps it alive. Tom told you when he and Brett did game 1 up at Key Arena, offensive rebounding so huge in this series. It's been Seattle's advantage right from the first possession when they had 4 cracks at it in game 1. But they turned it over too much. 6 times, 7 now, here in this first quarter. Peja baseline. Rebound by Sungaila. Seattle turned it over 9 times in game 1, 10 times in game 2, 7 in the first 10 minutes here in game 3.
Well, that's one of the ways they're going to be able to stay in the game right now is offensive rebounding, but this is a much better offensive unit they have on the court right now. Everybody, maybe except for Carlson, is able to score.
Shot clock violation, possession not secured before the buzzer went off. Nate McMillan has very few players with a lot of playoff experience. It's the first road game and no place is easy to play on the road in the playoffs. This is as tough as it gets.
Loud, forces you to play a little faster than you want to play sometimes. And I think that's what Sacramento is doing. They're just doing a much better job of moving the ball, and we expected that because they're at home, they're more comfortable at home.
Bibby sits. Bobby Jackson comes in. Goes baseline. Throws the contact. And we'll get some free throws out of it. Danny Fortune checked in for Seattle at the last whistle.
I always talk about teams trying to establish some sort of paint presence. And with a team that doesn't have a dominant low post player, you establish it through dribble drive penetration. Either you get to the rim or you pass it back out. Sacramento's one of those teams, so is Seattle, for that matter, that to establish post, you have to do dribble drive penetration.
All right, let's check the lineup. Tomorrow, TNT, Chicago, Washington, followed by Dallas, Houston. 3 Eastern, their coverage will begin. Here on ESPN tomorrow night, Boston, Indiana, Game 4. No Antoine Walker, he's suspended. San Antonio, Denver, coverage starts at 8. Sunday on ABC, we'll have the 4th game of Miami and New Jersey from the Meadowlands. Miami looking to close it out. This is an 8-0 Sacramento run. They have taken the lead up to a dozen as we dive towards 1 minute, first quarter. And Stojakovic fouls his fellow countryman, Radmanovic, 20 feet away from the goal.
So that Dallas-Houston series may be one of those series where when it's all said and done, they may have one home team win a game. Because both those teams are better on the road than they are at home. Nice steal by Bobby Jackson.
The man who missed 51 games with a broken bone in his left wrist has taken this lead out to 14. Awful turnover quarter for Seattle. 9, as many times as they gave it up in game 1. Almost as many times as they gave it up all of game 2. Daniels sees a lot of defenders. Sungaila bumps him, and he's called for the foul.
Well, I think Antonio Daniels is an important guy for them right now. You can see the lazy pass right there by Radmanovic and an easy steal for Bobby Jackson. You just can't make a lazy pass like that, especially when you got a guy like Bobby Jackson waiting to pounce on it. Antonio Daniels is the guy on this team with this 5 on the court. They can get to the rim. And he's a pretty good mid-range jump shooter. Not a bad three-point shooter, but he's a guy that can create shots for other people out there and have to get to respect his jump shot. So Luke Ridnow off to a little bit of a slow start. We'll see if Daniels can pick it up for him at the point.
1 of 2 for the man who has a championship ring from his stay with San Antonio in '99. First free throw attempts of the night for Seattle. They had 30 on Tuesday night when they won game 2. Mobley off a nice cut.
Great screen by Sangala. And Sangala set a great screen, and Danny Fortune had to come out and try to check Tino Mobley, and just wasn't able to.
Mobley lost Allen for a second. Couldn't get the shot. Collison goes up high. And the former Kansas Jayhawk gets the putback.
Well, so far that's been their best offense. Throw it up there, miss it, get an offensive rebound.
Ivanovic picked up the defense at midcourt. Shot clock is off. Final trip for the opening quarter.
Oh, nice move.
Sangala left free. Couldn't hit the runner. And a foul is called on Sangala as he got a piece of fortune. That's two quick ones here on Darius. And more importantly, an opportunity for Seattle to get a couple more points at the back end of the quarter.
I think Darius Sangala right there did the Jameel Holloway move. Fake, go up the mid, and then he fumbled it.
Danny Fortune, a very good free throw shooter at 88%.
You know, game one was Brent. I said the same exact thing first time he went to the pit and he missed it. Same thing. I don't know. What are you going to do?
I think it's him. Not you, not I. We're not taking the blame.
3 seconds still. If you can get the ball, be about maybe two dribbles.
Bobby Jackson sees it, lets it go. That's about one of the few things that did not go right in the first quarter for Sacramento. Well, if they were made of anything, you expected them to come out with that kind of effort. They lost the first two games, a proud franchise that knows playoff success. At this extraordinary loud building, they shoot 54% of the opening quarter. 10 points from number 10, Mike Bibby, and they're on top by 12.
Welcome back to Arco Arena as Sacramento here in Arco leads 31-19 as we begin the second quarter. I'm here with the Sacramento owners, Joe and Gavin Maluk. Joe, you guys have been so successful here at Arco. What is the difference with your team tonight coming back home?
They know it's a must-win situation. We can't afford to go down 3-0. And right now our fans, we depend on our fans. We've depended on them forever. Now they got to pull us through. We have to win this game.
Gavin, the atmosphere here is so much different than a lot of places around the league. What does this give your team?
Oh, a lot of energy. Our fans are the greatest. I mean, 290 straight sellouts. It's so loud in here, and the greet it tonight, and helping our team, and it's just great to see the enthusiasm from the fans.
Joe, what's it like for you now to be playing without Weber, without Vlade, without Doug Christie in the playoffs after so many years of success?
It's a little strange because we had great success with Chris and Vlade, of course, but we have to go on. It's a new era. It's time to go on with this bunch of guys, and I think we can get it done with. It just depends on how much they want it.
So you feel the window's still open, that it hasn't closed?
Yeah, the window's still open because we have a great core of players. We've got Bobby right here. You've got Brad Miller, Peja, and Bibby. That's a great group of guys that have an opportunity to take us a long way. So let's see what happens. We haven't had a chance to play together. It's the first time.
Gavin, I want to ask you about the All-Star game. You guys are very involved in Las Vegas. You have the Palms Hotel. We take a look at Michael Bibby expanding this lead now to 14. There's a good possibility that the game will be going to Vegas in 2007. What's your reaction to that?
We certainly hope so. I think Vegas deserves an event like that because it's used to hosting big-time events. It's a big-time city. It will do great for the NBA. NBA's international. 35% of our players are international. Las Vegas is an international city. It'd be unbelievable. It'd be like a mini Super Bowl.
Guys, good luck tonight. It's always great to see you in this building.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Joe.
It's not San Antonio, Mike. Sacramento.
You guys get San Antonio, Denver tomorrow night. Jim and Tommy, the rest of our crew will be heading over there. Bibby in a hoop, as Jim told you, he's up to 12 points, and he'll get a couple of free throws here.
I know it may come as a huge shock to you, but I'm also down for a Las Vegas All-Star Week.
You mean you might return for the Celebrity All-Star?
I may be there anyway.
Yeah.
You never know.
19 in the first two games for Bibby, 13 here in the first 13 minutes of this one. Maurice Evans has come in for Sacramento. Brad Miller, came back at that first quarter break. So those two joined Songaila, Bibby, and Jackson as the five on the floor. Antonio Daniels, Seattle, 8 of 23 shooting to start here tonight. Jackson had a lot of room cleared out by Brad Miller. 17-point lead for the Kings. Their largest of the night.
Well, their offense has certainly been eye-popping, and it's very efficient, but it's a defense that's getting them out into the transition and offense.
Offensive foul on Danny Fortune.
They haven't gotten anything easy, and look at the attack mode right here. Let me get to the middle. We have no shot blocker in the game at the present moment. Takes it strong. He knows Fortune and Motovich probably aren't going to get that, but it's been their defense limiting Seattle to forced shots, tough shots, turning them over. Seattle's got nothing easy on their offensive end.
Rashard Lewis, he's back in, 0 for 2 tonight. He went 3 of 12 shooting in game 2. That looked like the Kings of old with that pass, except for the turnover. Back comes Ridenour to Antonio Daniels. Radmanovich, Jerome, James, and Lewis round out the five on the floor for Nate McMillan. Here is Jerome. Good early start, goes baseline, and draws the foul. If it's Songaila, it's his third. It'll be Miller instead.
Now, a little surprised Antonio Daniels didn't shoot that. Wide open 15-footer on the break. Those are generally pretty good shots to take.
One more for Jerome. Check out NBA TV for highlights, breaking news, press conferences, behind-the-scenes action during this entire postseason. NBA TV, your home for complete playoff coverage. A good week so far. This is night 7 of the 2005 NBA playoffs. Great action all weekend. As the series get to the key parts, Bibby off the mark, rebound Lewis. See if Seattle can put something together here. Bibby, good hustle, kept it alive, but it will be Seattle ball. Like Bibby, we talked to him this morning. He understood that there was going to be a little pressure and a little heat because he did not play well. 1 of 16 from the field in game 1. A little bit better scoring, but he hated sitting on the bench at the back end of game 2. Ridenour on a runner has hit 2 field goals now.
Well, I think with a guy like Matt Bibby who's had the playoff experience he's had, the success in the playoffs that he's had, you just have to assume that he's going to come back. Now that right there, if they're going, that's fine. If they're not going, those are what you consider bad shots.
See if Lewis can get going. You got Evans for defense now. Rashard does it. Jerome James again finds the way to get the tip, and all of a sudden quickly down to 9 points. Or 11, I should say. And timeout for Sacramento. Rick Adams is unhappy. He's looking right at Bobby Jackson, talking about what you are, Tom. Those shots when you're going well are okay, but they were not in rhythm. They were a few minutes ago when Jackson got the steal off the 11th Sonics turnover. If they trail by just 11. Okay, John, here Seattle, like Phoenix, won the first 2 at home. A little bit tougher here on the road, down 11. Nate McMillan in the news with talk about where he will coach, not under contract next year. He answered some of the questions and speculation that were in newspapers in Ohio today.
You guys can write what you want to write, and people can say what they want to say. As I told the Sonics, and we talked at the beginning of the season. We will talk at the end of the season about the future of Nate McMillan. I haven't had any conversations with anyone. And again, my focus is on this team and not with what will happen whenever it will happen. That will take care of itself.
Nate McMillan is Mr. Sonic. He played, of course, this team for a dozen years. Number retired. Been on that bench as a coach. Maybe the putback gets it to go. For 7+ seasons, a couple as an assistant, now 5 as the head coach. And Nate will have many people interested in his coaching abilities because of all the vacancies out there when this season is done. Lewis missed a 2, Bibby a rebound. But for now, this is a question that has been asked a lot this year. So I think it's less of a distraction for this team than it might be for others who haven't been dealing with it. Bibby throws the contact. Couldn't get the putback. Out of bounds off the Sonics.
Well, When's the last time you heard a coach in the middle of the playoffs say, yeah, I like Cleveland and New York's nice? Of course, they're concentrating on their team, their players. They're not going to be a distraction. And, oh, by the way, was it a coincidence? We were talking about Vegas, and Jerry Tarkanian just walked by.
Tarky's in the house tonight. Just walked by and said hi in the middle of us speaking. Miller up top connects. That's important for Brad. Remember, he missed the last month and a half of the season with a couple of different injuries to the left leg, including a broken fibula. Riddenauer, a little bit of a shot back. He's hit 3 in a row. That's a 2, and it's 40-27.
Well, something I think Sacramento needs to explore a little bit more is the pick and roll involving Brad Miller, because when he's open, Jerome James is not going to come out and guard him.
The fans see that. They want Brad to take it. Brad is trying to run the offense. Nothing left, so why not? Good call, Tommy.
Oh, I love Plan B. I want to pass it to you. I want to pass it to you. God, just shoot it.
Lewis a 3. The All-Star is off the mark here tonight. Rashard Lewis is 0 for 5 for Seattle. Miller's back open again. How about 3 in a row? How about timeout Seattle? Brad Miller's back. Sack is back. Up 17.
Ultra aggressive here in game 3. Crowd behind him, knowing that he had to step up for his team, and he is flat out getting it done. Not only him, we got the rest of the team stepping up, hitting shots, playing defense, being aggressive. And to me, they're making shots. They're not right now passing the ball great, but they are making shots. Tonight, 6 for 11, 15 points. When you look at the numbers, 6 assists on 19 field goals. They're not doing a great job of passing, but I'll tell you what, they have shut Seattle down. You watch Seattle shoot shots, they have not taken many shots this game without a hand in their face.
How about 6 rebounds for Mike Bibby as well, who's been very aggressive, and they needed someone to step up in the leadership role. Bibby is the best player to do that, and is doing it thus far. Need to get Lewis going down here on that left low block. Comes across the lane on Sungailu. Still can't go. Jerome James going the other way. Foul on the Sonics and James. His first.
Maybe he's strong enough to knock Brad Miller's headband off. They're going to call you for a foul. You see right here, he comes in from your bottom left, and boom, headbands off. Yeah, that's a foul.
It's just the 6th foul on Jerome James in this series. And he's played 75 minutes. Miller goes right at him, tries to get a second. That is 4 consecutive field goals for Brad Miller. 19.
Well, Jerome James is going to come out and guard him. He's going to do just what he did. He's going to stay back. He's going to shoot the jump shot. That is a tough defensive matchup for Jerome James.
Bobby Jackson not allowing Ray Allen to catch where he's comfortable. Allen has just 5 points. Lewis 0 of 6 from the field. Bodied. Blaine Reichel with the call. And the foul will come on Brad Miller. His second. Miller and Sungailu have 2 fouls for Sacramento. Danny Fortune has 2 for Seattle.
You see, the arms are extended here. And if you extend the arms, that's what's going to cause the foul.
Luke Riddenauer, 6 points. 2 to shoot. Allen trying to draw contact. Couldn't get in close. And it never hit the rim, so it's the second shot clock violation for Nate McMillan's team. So how about Sacramento? They scored 40 points in the first half of game 1, 44 the first half of game 2. Halfway through the second quarter, they are already at 46. Kenny Thomas coming back in here.
Well, I'm waiting to see Seattle draw and pitch. They've been trying to drive and score off their drives. What makes them so good is they have guys like Riddenauer, Radmanovich, Lewis, and Allen that can all drive the ball and then pitch the ball when they collapse the defense. They've been driving, but they haven't been pitching it. They've been shooting those shots.
Riddenauer hounding Bibby, banged into Miller, and Bibby bangs another one! circle. Over countryman Stojakovic. Defensive 3 seconds called here on Seattle. So the Sacramento Kings and Stojakovic will get a free throw.
And he was kicking this ball around for about 3 seconds, and Brad Miller pinballed him. Sent him real. I was waiting for the whoop, 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 whoop soundtrack to come out. Lost it, got it, lost it. Oh, bucket. Just like he draw it up.
Patient to the line. As will just go right that one down. Third in the league at 92%. Every ingredient Sacramento needed. Better defense, better ball movement, more assists in the game, forcing turnovers from Seattle, and stepping up to make big shots. We've done it all here in the first half. Does Seattle have a run to get it near 10 before intermission?
You're waiting to see a little offensive flow from Seattle. Is what you're waiting to see. Haven't seen it. Just nice move.
Allen, count it. They point to the circle. Miller had a foot on the back of the restricted area, so bang it, and a free throw coming for Red.
Man. I mean, just to be able to get off a legitimate shot after you spin like that was a vicious spin move. Left Peja in the dust, and then finish opposite hand and draw the contact.
Miller to the bench, Tommy with 3. His right heel was on the circle, the restricted area. Huge hand for Brad as he departs. And we welcome in those of you who are watching Phoenix as they took a 110-90 win over Memphis and have taken it to 3-0 in that series. Earlier tonight, Philadelphia beat Detroit 115-104. John, Legs, and Greg will have the highlights of a Herculean effort by Iverson and company. The bench was great for Philly, awful for Detroit tonight. You guys will have that coming up at halftime. Brian Skinner comes in the game and walks. Skinner, who has both thumbs taped heavily. His thumbs got jammed on a block as he went up to shoot in March, and it has been troublesome for Brian. He's gone from the starting lineup to a role player as Miller has returned to help. Now he gets James, and Jerome, if he's feeling it, should have this advantage.
Good sweet move. Hey, a little Akeem shake there. A little semi-dream shake. And then over the right shoulder, I think you gotta get Kenny Thomas involved. I mean, if Jerome James is gonna take advantage down there, you got Kenny Thomas, who's basically a small forward being guarded by Jerome James.
Page is sent to his right. He'd rather not do that. Radmanovic couldn't squeeze it. Here's out. Here come the Sonics. Could get it to a dozen or 11. Ray sees Mobley. Takes Mobley. Comes right there. Countered and a foul. They're right back in it. Again, Brad Miller, no big presence there. Ray comes right to the right.
Well, the big guy's got to slide in there. I mean, he's got to try to get in there. I know that's tough. That's a sweet move by Ray Allen, but you got to try to slide in there and take that charge and make it kick to the big guy.
Jim?
Mike, during the last timeout, Ray Allen has really taken a leadership role. He gathered the guys together after Nate McMillan was finished. He said, guys, we're playing selfishly offensively. We're not sharing the ball, and because we're not sharing the ball offensively, we're not helping each other defensively. Since that time, look at the run they've had, Mike.
8-0 and Thomas Misnick again to single digits. What a leader Ray Allen has become on this team. He's so glad to be back in the playoffs. This is 3. Write it down. 3 more for Ray Allen. 9 of this run. 11-0 for Seattle. And Sacramento will stop it here. So smooth as a star in Connecticut. He's come to the NBA, took Milwaukee to the conference finals. They lost in Game 7 to Philadelphia. Thrilled to be back with the adrenaline of the postseason. And Ray Allen knocks down that 3 as Seattle's 11-0 run has gotten them right back in it. 20-second timeout taken by Rick Adelman.
Well, that was a poor job, by Brian Skinner. You got to be up on the big guy. You got a shooter like Ray Allen, and the big guy is going to set a pick. You just can't let him come off and get a good look. You have to come off and try to get a hand in his face, make him change directions, make him go somewhere. Now watch this. Right here, Brian Skinner, look how far back he is. I mean, look at that. There's like 5 feet between Brian Skinner and Ray Allen. He's one of the best shooters in the game. You have to get up there and get a hand in that man's face.
What a great surge here by Seattle to get right back in this game. Sacramento led by as many as 21. The 11-0 run has helped bring it down to 8. Mobley, a mobile three. It seems like he shoots his best when he's not set. But Ray Allen does. He's sliding into his shot a little bit.
Sliding in, leaning a little bit, off kilter.
We're Aaron James trying a two-man game. Wasn't really the way you draw it up. Luke hustles, gets the board, keeps the possession alive.
Oh, no.
Shot clock at 1. Allen couldn't do it. It's out of bounds. No! Yes, it was. Good call. His foot was on the line. Joe DeRosa ran down and got it. So Seattle ball after this timeout. Everything was good in Sacramento. They've allowed Seattle to get some momentum, get back in it. The 11-point game with 2.5 till the half. Second All-Star. That's his second best player. I know Jerome James has been the other guy along with Ray Allen in this series. But if Seattle's going to succeed, they've got to get Lewis going. He had 18 in the first game, 3 of 12 from the field in game 2. So he's 3 of 18 in the last 6 quarters.
Well, usually when he needs buckets, they can get him that ball down that left block and let him work and see if he can go to work. Now, Rick Adelman's not going to let him take a lot of dribbles out there. He's going to do a nice job this time stepping out.
Allen trying to take over this game, and he has done just that. Ray Allen, 16 points. See, they would delay a game warning on Seattle as Jerome James grabbed at the ball. You see Ray's numbers, 16, 11 here in the quarter. Bibby, Kenny Thomas, Stojakovic, Skinner, Mobley, bottom right of your screen. Inside of 2, Bibby's been the hot king this half. He's missed his last couple, and James gets the rebound. 5 for Jerome. Lewis, maybe this one will get him going. Fouled by Thomas. Good foul. Reichelt ran right in there just in case there was some words exchanged, but Richard knows no malintent from Kenny Thomas.
Well, sometimes little things can get you going. Get out in the fast break, get yourself to the free throw line, get yourself an offensive rebound. He just needs to get something easy right now and get some confidence.
Our entire crew will be Denver bound for San Antonio, Denver. Second game of our ESPN doubleheader tomorrow night. Boston, Indiana, game 4. No Antoine Walker for the Celtics. That game on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and in high definition on ESPN HD. Your cable operator, satellite provider, they got all the info on ESPN HD. It is 7. It was once 21. Not too long ago either. The 5:20 mark, it was 21. Kenny Thomas spinning on Radmanovic. I think he put a shoulder in Vladdy's chin as he got the hoop.
Well, it's a tough move. I mean, they threw it back to Kenny Thomas, expecting Jerome James to be guarding him. Radmanovic slid over, and he took Thomas. Nice job getting to the hoop on the spin move.
Thomas has 10. Bibby leads Sacramento with 17. Ray Allen has 16. Jerome James has 10. Who's the 4 leading scorers? Going the other way. Offensive foul on Radmanovic, his first.
It's this nice spin move by Kenny Thomas. Busts him in the chin with the shoulder. It's always nice when you get busted in the face and get scored on.
And pick up an offensive foul.
Well, I think the only thing that could have been worse is he called for a foul. Let that happen, too.
There's the hat trick in 30 seconds. Important minute here for the Kings. Have a little cushion going in to the second half. Stojakovic, they're forcing him right. They're doubling him. Casey just cannot get those comfortable looks. And this will be 3 seconds on Sacramento.
I think it was on Brian Skinner. He was waiting for someone to take a shot and trying to get good rebounding position. I think this is a crucial last couple possessions for Seattle. You worked very hard to get yourself from 21 down to 9. You don't want to give up a couple buckets here and have this thing go right back up to 13 with all the work you've done.
Jerome James calling for it. Skinner, he took advantage of him last time. No double coming. Good job by James out deflecting off the Sonics. James spending time conversing. Gotta get back here. Bibby had it knocked away. Those quick hands of Rittenauer forcing the steal. Shot and game clock virtually synced up.
I'm guessing that Ray Allen's going to want the ball at some point during this possession.
Stojakovic tries to deny him out high, so Ray just comes and gets the ball. And
I don't think he's giving it back to anybody.
it's Rittenauer of 3. Lewis saw it early. Mobley looks at the clock. This is good if it goes. And we hit the half. A much better half for Sacramento. They were up 21, saw it get down to 7, but will take a 9-point edge to the locker room for the second half. And Jim standing by with Sacramento's best first half man, Mike Bibby. Jim?
Mike Bibby had a great first half, 17 points. Mike, what happened here, though, in the last 5 minutes? You guys were up 21, and now it's down to 9.
We started taking quick shots and, not giving them a chance to play defense. And they were taking quick shots, and they were scoring easy baskets at the end.
Mike, Coach Adelman told us that we're not selfish players, but we have been playing selfishly in the first 2 games. Was that the feeling of your teammates as well?
I don't know. I felt like it was. We play a lot better when we move the ball. And as you can see, we were doing that in the first parts of the game tonight. But, the latter part of the game, we started shooting and taking quick shots. So you see where we're at right now.
What will you have to do to regain that momentum to get things back on track here in the third quarter?
Play together.
Mike, thank you. Good luck in the second half.
Mike, 17 points for Mike Bibby. The Toyota Halftime Show with John, Tim Legler, and Greg Anthony coming up from the studio. The big night for Iverson. The Suns taking the 3-0 lead on Memphis, which is still yet to win a playoff game in its franchise. It's a franchise Mike Bibby start for back in the Vancouver days. Seattle looking to go up 3-0. They made a run to cut a 21-point lead down to 9, 54-45. John and the crew from Times Square, Toyota Halftime Show. Coming up next.
能够把握住主动的话，自己的节奏必须要掌握在手上。
We're turning the ball over way too much. We've got to share the ball more. You have to work some cuts, set some picks. Let's try and get some easy baskets. Defensively, he wants them to challenge some shots. He wants to limit their second chance opportunity. And he also says we have to be willing to take some risks. And some of that risk means getting into passing lanes and doing some things we might not normally do because it's a tough place to win, and we have to do something drastic here in the beginning of the quarter. Mike?
Not fall behind in that hole once again. Credit Sacramento with a little bit of the good defense as well. Rick Adelman wanted his team to play with intensity at the start of the game, and they did show that. It waned a little bit, but that's normal. Yeah. When you see that team come out with a surge, usually the better team ends up kind of hanging in there and stemming that momentum, and Seattle is the better team. That's why they're the home team. They're the 3 seed, won the Northwest Division, 52 wins on the season, and a steady season as opposed to the roller coaster of change that Sacramento went through in 2004-2005. Game 10 that started the game starts the third, and Mike Bibby picks up where he left off as he splashes down the first 2 of the half.
Well, the one thing that I'm wondering is if it can continue is both these teams didn't have very many assists. Seattle 4 and Sacramento 6. And can you keep going one-on-one, getting to the bucket, taking jump shots? Rashard Lewis getting himself to the free throw line there. The one thing that you worry about when you have such a low ratio of assists to field goals made is can you continue that? Because if you don't and you keep taking jump shots, then you find yourself forcing shots and missing those shots, and that's a way for one of these teams to either get back in at Seattle or extend if you're Sacramento.
Foul on Stojakovic, his second. First free throw, good for Lewis. So Bulls, Wizards, Mavericks, Rockets will start your NBA day tomorrow on TNT. Then Celtics, Pacers game 4, followed by Spurs, Nuggets game 3 from Denver. And on ABC on Sunday, we'll have game 4 of the Heat and Nets at 3 Eastern. Your Sunday will start with an ESPN game at 1 o'clock now, a very interesting game. Game 4 from Philadelphia, the Sixers and Pistons. Patino Mobley. It's 2 opening field goals, 1 apiece for the starting Sacramento backcourt. Mobley has 10, Thomas 10, Bibby 19, the 3 in double figures for the Kings. Luke Rittenauer, the point guard, as Kenny Thomas run into him and turns it over as it goes out of bounds.
Oh, he had
Luke shock.
Boy, had 2 officials. Oh, nice take.
Mobley and a foul. Sacramento got the ball. They started that possession so quick. It was a good attempt all the way down the floor. Seattle was on its heels.
Well, you don't mind that. Get out in the open court and attack. And once he got by Ray Allen, watch this. Once he gets the right shoulder by him, he's gone. There is no one over there to react.
And Nate McMillan wants to take a quick timeout here, so Seattle stops it early. Sacramento has extended that lead back out to 13 here in the first 75 seconds of the third. Very quick timeout by Nate McMillan. Jim Gray was over there.
And Mikey was very animated. He said, you guys, where are you guys tonight? You better get back in this thing in a hurry, or we won't have to worry about the rest of this game. You guys better make some defensive stops. Pick it up. Figure out where you are, because if we don't, we got no shot. Mike?
We'll be back here Sunday for Game 4 with a 2-1 series. Tom, obviously, playoff experience is talked about so often, but it's a different element of the game when you come on the road to play first playoff games. And as I mentioned before, other than Antonio Daniels and Ray Allen, there are very few Sonics with a lot of playoff experience. James makes it 61.
Well, I think the one thing that makes it so much different is you can see the end of your season. You know it's right around the corner. You play a road game or a home game during the middle. Ooh, that one hurt me. During the middle of February, you still got 3, 4, 5 months left to go in the season. Now you're down 2-0, and you realize if you lose this one, you got about a week left in your season. So the intensity level is ratcheted up, defensively, offensively, and you're just giving it everything you have. And if you're a road team, you got to be able to match that.
Page is 1 of 6 in the field. Rittenauer, nice little kiss off the window for Luke, who has 4 field goals, 8 points. And it's a 10-point game. Nate McMillan up clapping, asking his team for a little defensive intensity on this trip. The beauty of the playoffs. I was talking to Ray Allen about it this afternoon. Every trip means so much. And that's what he's trying to impart to the players during the longer timeouts. Reggie Evans says, my arms were straight up, but he did commit a second foul. Well, up 2-0, you saw these numbers on Game 1. Usually means you will get the job done. Only 5% of the time if teams down 0-2 come back to win the series. This is the 7th time in franchise history the Sonics are up 2-0. Last time was the Western Conference Finals in '96, and they beat Utah in 7 in that one, then lost to the Bulls in the finals. Nate playing then. 46 of the last 47 2-0s have gone on to win the series. The one that didn't would be the 2004 Lakers-San Antonio series, the one with the Derek Fisher game-winning shot at SBC, and then the Lakers coming back to Staples to close it out.
But I would imagine a lot of those 2-0s are 1s versus 8s and 2s versus 7s, so you're going to have the more dominant team with home court advantage, so those numbers really shouldn't surprise.
Foul by Kenny Thomas, Hassel and Reggie Evans 20 feet away.
The eternal question, what'd I do?
We talk about Seattle and coming on the road without a lot of playoff experience to a place where Rick Adelman's team is always so good here in Arco. Well, Seattle was the 3rd best road team in the NBA this year, 26-15. Only Phoenix and Dallas had more wins away from home. 8 to shoot for Rittenauer. Re-teed by Ray Allen. Find it, Jerome James! Look out! Jerome, send it in, Jerome comes to mind. 6 of 8 from the field, he has 14. We raise a glass to Mr. Raftery. Miller, and a foul.
How about the last 2 times down the court? Luke Rittenauer, nice pass, and then Coutinho Mobley, a little drop off to Brad Miller. Up and under. The rim is your friend. Use it to shield the bad defensive people.
This is like a cartoon for kids. Saturday morning. Use the rim to shield the bad guys. First foul on Reggie Evans. It is plus 13 for Sacramento. 30-11 at home here in Arco this year. Their last 3 playoff losses have all come in overtime in this building. Rittenauer wants it. Oh, got it.
Hey, that's his first 4, and now he's got fire. Now you got to be careful where he is on the court, and even more dangerous, now he's shooting the ball well. He can penetrate and find some guys like he did Jerome James, excuse me, 12 seconds ago.
Mobley couldn't find a 3. Bibby was quick around him, but Reggie Evans gets the board. Ridenour pushes, takes. Didn't get it. Kenny Thomas on the board.
Oh, good shot, though.
Yeah.
I saw Luke Ridenour do something on defense that I haven't seen a guy do in like 5 years. Look and actually look for his man to try to box him out last time down.
James fouls Miller. That's the second on Jerome. Still staying mostly out of foul trouble. He wants the foul to be on the floor, not in the act of shooting. And he is correct. Rick Adelman does not agree. You get a whistle. I believe the shot clock was not properly set. It was reset to 24. It should not have been. Should be at 15. 14 fouls on Seattle with 8:11 left in the third. Ridenour knocked down again, and Miller can't convert. Put back by Thomas.
Kenny Thomas is just a very active power forward. He's more like a small forward, which makes him difficult for a lot of power forwards to guard, but he can get on the offensive glass, shoot the ball from 15.
James doubles but finds Lewis, who gets his first hoop. So when Jerome James catches down there, and they do go for the double, he's able to find an open man. Thomas fouled by Lewis. Eddie F. Rush says that kind of stuck the leg in there to cause the foul.
Well, Coach Adelman wanted to see if he could make plays. That's making a play right there. And that is tough to do for a guy that is not, one, used to hitting the ball down there a lot, and two, used to hitting double team. It takes you a while to acquire the passing skills to pass out of a double team. That was an impressive pass right there.
The foul on Lewis puts Seattle over the limit, so we'll have free throws for the last 7.5 of this quarter. Log on to NBAstore.com for your official 2005 playoff merchandise. Get your Sonics and Kings Destination Finals t-shirt now. You're up for the playoffs now. NBAstore.com. Sacramento plus 12. 4.5 gone by. Third quarter, game 3 of this series. Seattle won game 1 at home by 5. Game 2 at the Key Arena at the bottom of the Space Needle by a dozen. Game 4 is back here on Sunday.
Oh my goodness. Oh no. No, he didn't. Somebody take the cue ball out and put it back.
You're right, he didn't. He did not call bank, but James now 7 of 9 from the field. He's tied with Allen, leading Seattle 16 points. Miller left free. Oh, nobody came to the rebound. Miller able to get it right back and reset it. Ridenour stayed with Bibby, worked around that poor screen quite well. Mobley a three. The Sacramento starters were benched for the fourth quarter by Rick Adelman. Mobley has 8 in the quarter. 4 of the 5 starters are in double figures here in the third. I think he'll play in the fourth.
Mobley is doing a tremendous job fighting over screens. You watch James set that screen, and he is, well, didn't need to reach right there. Shot clock running down, but you watch what Katina Mobley's been able to do. You see the leading scorers for the Kings, Bibby, Thomas, Mobley, and Miller, all in double digits, but he is really, really battling. He's working hard to get over all the screens.
Only starter not in double figures is Stojakovic, who just picked up his 3rd personal foul as Lewis went to drive, and it is now 4 fouls in Sacramento here in the quarter. So Seattle may end up with some free throws in the back half of this frame. And these are good free throw shooting teams. Allen, catch and shoot 3. He needs just less than a second to catch, square, and shoot.
You don't realize how tough that is. And Katina Mobley was right in his face. And that didn't even think about drawing iron.
This one's going to go back the other way. So Seattle has worked its way back in, still down double digits, but it doesn't feel like a 10-point game right now because Seattle's gone 7 of 8 from the field here in the third.
That's because I was about to say defense is taking a back seat here in the third quarter. The offenses have taken over.
Exactly like the third quarter of the Philadelphia-Detroit game, the great shooting start for both teams out of the locker room. Ridenour, offensive foul. Mike Bibby, a nice job of drawing contact. I'll tell you, Luke is getting beat up here. Brad Miller's been setting, so every trip down, it's like somewhere between midcourt and the 3-point line. A lot of bumping with Bibby. James tried to knock it away. 14 on the shot. Good rebound by Reggie Evans. Man, that was like past him, and he hauled it back in.
Nice hands. You see what Sacramento trying to do right now in the half-court set. They're going to attack James. Either Bibby's going to end up with a jump shot or Brad Miller's going to end up with a jump shot.
Rittenauer, pick and roll, left free. Luke Rittenauer, who had such a poor shooting 2 games at home, 2 of 17 from the field. Tonight is 6 of 13. He has 13. And a little nervous noise from the Sacramento fans. Peja Stojakovic is wearing a green blanket right now. He's given no room at any time. Thomas on the tape.
I think anytime you find Jerome James guarding Kenny Thomas in Seattle, you got to go give him help. He cannot stick with him.
Bailed out as Allen. He was driving, lost the handle, but the officials say it was caused by a foul that will bring Seattle to the line with free throws. Third foul, Mobley.
You see Allen going baseline here. Yeah, that's a good call.
It was Thomas on the foul, right?
He was sliding.
Yeah, it was Thomas. Okay, it's his third.
And you're going to see right here. I mean, that's an easy call to make right there when you're sliding away. Brad Miller litigating anyway. Brad Miller's so funny. You don't think of him as a guy that does that. He loves chatting with the officials.
Well, tonight's game available on ESPN HD, presented by Phillips. Our upcoming telecast, your playoff doubleheader tomorrow night. Celtics and Pacers from Conseco. See if Indy can go up 3-1. And then Brent Musburger will join Tommy, our producer Ken Wolf, director Ken Dennis, our entire crew on that early morning flight to Denver for Game 3. Do you think the Pepsi Center is going to be loud tomorrow night? Oh, look at it, devastating. Kicking midcourt by Miller. Somebody's got to help him out. That's 4 times this quarter. That's happened, and that's 4 times this quarter. Thomas has gotten an inside hoop. Penny's made his last 4 shots. He has 20.
Well, Rittenauer is telling Jerome James, hey, big fella, how about help me out here? He's back 20 feet. He's not yelling. He's not helping him out. And he is just getting cracked. You watch this right here. Where's the big guy? Ah! And you'd have to take that frame and go down about 20 feet to find Jerome James. He's nowhere in the picture. You have to be able to help your little guy out and tell him. And they're talking right now. I mean, as a big guy, that's one of the first things you learn. Yell, pick, either right or left, depending on where it's coming from, so he knows where he is. I mean, he can't keep looking over his shoulder and guarding a guy in front of him simultaneously, so you help him out a little bit. Although, I don't even know if he'll be able to hear him next time, because that head's going to be ringing for a while.
Yeah, over there on the bench, he's holding his head as he goes to see any blood. What's going on? Yeah, I'm all right. Tell my big fella, if you're going to play 35 minutes, help me out. Antonio Daniels comes on the floor. The 2 free throws making an 8-point game. Miller, top of the key. Kenny Thomas almost had another putback. They are not accounting for him, and he may kill him before the night's done. Nick Collison came into that last break for Seattle as well. Allen and Daniels in the backcourt. Collison, Lewis, Evans. Collison rolls to the goal. Couldn't make it a 6-point game. James over the back. Foul number 3.
Good play. Just didn't quite execute it. Nick Collison upset with himself. Felt like he missed a chippy that time. And sometimes when you get players that are moving around your feet like Bibby was that time, he just lose a little bit of concentration and just left it short.
Both teams over the limit, so Kenny Thomas comes to the line. Of course, part of the big trade is Thomas and Brian Skinner and Corliss Williamson, who has disappeared in this series, playing only 10 minutes. Came over from Philadelphia for Chris Webber. Here is Corliss, just 4 minutes and 3 points in the last game, 2.6 minutes in game 1. There are certain matchups, and we saw this last year when Williamson was part of the championship run in Detroit, where Corliss does work with a second unit because he may be able to take advantage of certain matchups. With the size Seattle has with their big guys, this series doesn't fit Williamson as well.
Well, I think last year when you look at what Corliss did, it was nice to be able to bring him in with Mehmet Okurc. He had an inside guy and an outside guy. Good point. It doesn't work as well here. When you bring him in, you have to be with a guy like Brad Miller.
Kenny Thomas, 22 points, a career playoff high. His previous was 17. Vladimir Radmanovic in. James backing. Bibby brings the double. It came too late, but he couldn't convert. And here comes Stojakovic for Sacramento. Asia, 1 of 6. He wants space. He wants a shot. He got it to go. Asia's second field goal brings him up at Arco. Home team up 12. Lewis will try to answer back.
Tough shot.
Collison was held. Foul on the case.
Sacramento's doing a real nice job when Rashard Lewis does get the ball, but not letting him get it on the left block. He's getting it 10 feet extended off that left block, which makes it a much more difficult offensive maneuver.
See what Adam will do. That's 4 on Kenny Thomas. Brad Miller has 3. He'll stay in. Kenny will come out, and Darius Songaila will check in for him. Nick Collison at the line. It was neat to see, Tom, over the years with Kansas, with Kirk Heinrich and Nick Collison, 2 Iowa guys. They shared Mr. Basketball in Iowa, and now here they are, both playing significant roles on their teams in the NBA as they make the playoffs. And the way their series have gone, it's been off nights. I'm sure they'll be able to watch each other and share in the success. Mobley, quick 3. Very quick shot.
Yeah, those are the ones you don't want. You see Adelman is upset with that shot.
He just burned a hole in the back of Coutinho's head. Antonio Daniels hard hit as he is fouled. Daniels went airborne early on, and just a little bump sent him down. Songaila will be whistled for the foul. 3 on Darius. Good intensity here. Kings maintain the lead they had at the half, 11. Asia Stojakovic very frustrated. Just 2 field goals on the night. Maybe that last one will get him going. Arena, Sacramento, California. Kings by 11. Under 3 left in the third of Game 3. Time now for Gatorade Cooler Talk. And this would be some conversation around the Sonics practice tomorrow. Hey, Jerome, I know you're having a great series, but how about helping me out? Let me know when 52 is standing there.
Am I the only one that thinks of the Who's Pinball Wizard when I say that? I mean, he's just banging around. Look at the face. Look at that. He has a mouse under the right eye. He just gets. He didn't even want to look anymore. Well, seriously, please, can somebody help me out over here? But no, that's I know that from experience. You want to get your guards upset with you? That is the first way. Do not yell out pigs and get your little guy cream. Absolutely cream. Now, as a big guy, that was one of my favorite hobbies. Getting the other little guy. See if you can get him.
But you can see, and obviously, it's something within basketball you see, and Luke is really hurting. He's been like that all time now. A technical foul has been called after the free throw by Antonio Daniels. And it's on Danny Fortune, who was right there among the league leaders in drawing tees throughout the season. Danny, who was suspended a couple of times, had some discipline problems with Coach Nate McMillan as well. And cost his team a point there. So it's down to 10. Watch the left side of your screen. Battling with Corliss Williamson.
I'm sorry, I didn't see a whole lot there. It's like 2 guys getting tangled up. 2 guys wanted to establish position. I didn't say anything dirty or blatant.
Asia off the screen by Williamson. That's back-to-back field goals for Stojakovic. 12 of 29 time in the series coming in. Now 3 of 8 shooting tonight.
Both of those field goals going left.
Yep, that's right. Something they've taken away from him. Got a mismatch with Radmanovich and Bobby Jackson if they want to go down low. Daniels on the drive. Kick to Radmanovich for 3. Vladimir Radmanovich answers his fellow Serbia-Montenegro native.
That's what I've been waiting to see from Seattle. Aggressive drive, draw, and kick.
Vladimir comes back and fouls Peja. Peja was unhappy, Tom, because Stojakovic he's not an old man. He's 27. Radmanovich is 24. They're from the same country, and Radmanovich was talking about how he grew up watching Peja. Hey, wait a minute. We played together in the World Championships, and it's not like you're a lot older than me. On Friday, before the start of the series, back up in Seattle, Vladimir took Peja out for dinner. Peja said it was Italian food. It was heavy, slowed me down, it was bad. So he did not return the favor when Seattle flew in here yesterday. A little bit harder to go out for dinner with your buddy.
Yeah.
Between games 2 and 3 than before game 1.
I was just thinking, when he was shooting the free throw, Radmanovich was on the line. What if they just kind of spaced and he hit a free throw and gave Radmanovich 5? Like, he kind of went back to their national days. Oops, sorry about that.
Daniels, nice draw to Collison. A lot of fouls adding up here on Sacramento. With 1 or 2 here, you could have some key players in foul trouble. Bobby Jackson is going to draw that one, just his first. We already have Songaila with 4 and Thomas with 4. Brad Miller has 3. One more coming for Collison.
Well, the good news is if you're Sacramento, you ripped off 32 points this quarter. You still got a couple minutes to go. Bad news is the lead is actually only went up a point. And if he makes his free throw, which he does, they've given up 32 points. So the defense that Sacramento displayed early on is gone, but the offensive efficiency has certainly increased. But then again, so has Seattle. If you're Seattle, you can't afford to keep trading points.
Peja feeling it. Rattles one out, but his shot looks so much better here in the last 3 minutes after he hit that one that he initiated the shot, bringing it off the rebound. Seattle to make it 7 or 6. Lewis draws a lot of white jerseys. Beautiful pass. Collison to Fortune, who was wrapped up by Songaila and was barreling through anything in his way.
That was nice. I mean, it all started with Rashard Lewis. When the double team came, to see how he kept his dribble alive. Watch him keep his dribble alive. Boom. Okay, now he's going to string the defense out. Kick to the middle. Great job by Collison getting into the middle. And then nice vision finding Fortune. But that all started with Lewis able to keep the dribble alive and extend the defense and make the defense stretch out.
One more for Fortune. Talking with Rick Sun, the general manager of Seattle. Skinner's coming in because Songaila has 5 fouls, by the way. Rick Sun said of all the things Nate McMillan has done in this wonderful turnaround season for Seattle, going from 37 wins to 52, it's been using the big men the right way at the right time. Collison and Fortune together. Obviously, Jerome James playing out of his mind here in this series. Vitaly Potapenko, when he came back from his injury, missed 20 games with a fractured bone in his right hand. He used Vitaly in key minutes. Even Radmanovich, when he goes to play the 4. Those bigs have played well in this series. Bibby found space. Terrific game for Mike Bibby tonight. He has 21 to go with Kenny Thomas's 22 to face Sacramento. Antonio Daniels saw Corliss Williamson, got to the hoop. Collison couldn't finish inside. Nice hustle by Daniels. Jackson went for the steal. Daniels to the deck. Radmanovich off on the 3. Fortune a foul. His third.
Antonio Daniels doing everything he can to get into the middle of the defense and create shots for other people. You know, I thought Radmanovich had a chance that last time to maybe use a ball fake and get a little closer. I mean, he was going to shoot that before the ball ever got there. He just knew he was open and the ball was going to go up. But the defense was pretty close, maybe closer than he expected. Ball fake, get the guys flying by you, and then you get the defense really scrambling.
Corliss Williams hits the free throw. I like this sub. Ray Allen coming in here for the last minute of the quarter for Rashard Lewis, who sits with just 1 field goal and 6 points on the night. Ray has only had 1 field goal here in the third quarter. Get him on the floor for some important decisions, closing quarters, just magnified more here in the postseason. Williamson hits both free throws, first points of the night, lead 11. Final minute, third quarter, Sacramento trying to get game 3 and make it a series here in the 3-6 out west. Radmanovich draws 2, Allen draws contact, and he'll get 2 free throws. Bobby Jackson will be whistled for the foul.
The good things happen when you penetrate. You want to get the defense moving. And Radmanovich did a nice job that time showing the ball, getting baseline, and then you have to always trust your teammates. I'm going to create a shot for you. You got to try to move into the proper lanes and get open for me. Well, that's what Ray Allen did.
Ray Allen, who was an Air Force brat growing up, his dad was a welding technician. He moved around England, Germany, then back, had some time here in California, South Carolina, where Ray's roots are in many ways. He's a poster boy for a lot of good things. Does wonderful things with his foundation. Is a great role model for the Seattle team and this league for what these athletes can represent. Final half minute of the third. Fortune tries to draw the contact. Instead, he draws a foul. And Howard Schultz, the owner of the Sonics, is the white shirt, black pants wearing man, jumping up and down, unhappy with the official's call.
You think?
Schultz heads the group that owns this Seattle team. Also, the owner of some place called Starbucks.
Mary, turn off your closed captioning.
One more coming for Bibby.
Well, I like what Danny Fortune tried to do. He tried to slide over because Mike Bibby been killing him on that pick and roll, and the big guys have been laying off. You got to make sure when you slide with him, you slide at an angle where you don't have to create body contact. You try to get that angle going toward the baseline, but then again, you can still challenge. But at least that's better than letting them shoot right over the top of you.
Mobley comes back in for the last couple of trips here of this third quarter. Sacramento, a small group on the floor to end the frame. 22 for Bibby, who struggled 1 of 16 from the field in that first game. Kings, 15 points at the line this quarter. 15 of 50. So getting to 5 fouls 4 minutes into the quarter really has hurt Seattle because Sacramento's been aggressive and gone right to the basket. Couple of seconds difference. Seattle works for a last good shot. Daniels a 3 is long. Mobley launched one at the end of the second quarter. Bobby Jackson spins and did not get the shot off, and that brings us to the end of the third quarter. It was Sacramento by 12 after 1. The lead was 9 at the half. High-scoring quarter for both sides there in the third. Sacramento takes an 11-point lead into the fourth quarter. Does Seattle have another push? Will they go up 3-0, or will the Kings make it a series here out west? Fourth quarter coming up. 28th consecutive time, 268th consecutive night. Arco Arena sold out, 17,317. Saw a very high-scoring playoff third quarter there. The Kings have led most of the way. They lead by 11. Off we go to the fourth quarter with Jim Gray and Tom Tolbert, Mike Tirico. Here in Sacramento, Kings trying to get back in this series. Seattle for the commanding 3-0 lead. Collison baseline gets it going here off the feed from Antonio Daniels.
Well, Antonio Daniels to me has made a huge difference since he's came into the game. He's come into the game, just his aggressiveness, not looking to score so much on the dribble penetration, but he's setting up opportunities for everybody else.
Williamson, nice dunk down to Brad Miller. So Williamson was fortunate out there, able to play a little bit, and a nice pass. Radmanovich, 2. So on the take, 9-point game.
And has it been anything other than an 11 or 9-point lead the last 12 minutes of game time? It just goes 11-9, 11-9. Who's going to be able to make that run?
Offensive foul. Williamson through the elbow. First foul of the quarter. Well, remember, Rick Adelman put his starters on the bench the whole fourth quarter of Game 2. Tonight, those starters have been very good, scoring 84 points, all 5 in double figures, now that Stojakovic has 10.
The team as a whole has got 40% up in Seattle, 53% tonight, which you would expect coming back home.
Coutinho Mobley called for this foul. It's the first team foul of the quarter. The other foul, an offensive one, doesn't count towards the team foul count. So Mobley picking up his third. All those starters except for Bibby have 3 or 4 fouls. Daniels. Fortune barreling through people, and he will pick up his 5th foul. Let's see what Nate McMillan will go do here. We'll go back to Jerome James. 8 minutes, 5 fouls, no field goal attempts for Fortune here on the night. And the technical foul as well. Not tonight.
That is a big man.
Danny?
I mean, it just looks like he wanted you to just like eat Ridnour and swallow him up.
Bibby watched by Daniels, worked around Williamson, deflected, good hands by Collison. Corliss keeping this possession alive, 5 to shoot. He saw it. Over the top. They rubbed against the shot clock in the back, so it will go back to Seattle. What does Seattle need to do better here, Tom, to try to get over that 11-9 neighborhood?
Well, I like what they're doing and getting the ball to Antonio Daniels and letting him beat Mike Bibby off the dribble and trying to create things for everybody else. Right, Monovich is starting to look at the rim and getting good looks. I like getting him off some screens maybe and getting a clean look. That's a tough shot.
Allen misses. Mobley had the bigger Radmanovich, but a good position. Strong Coutinho kept him out of there. Bibby in rhythm, wants it. Knockdown 3! Mike Bibby's having a night. 26 points. Looking much more like the Mike Bibby we saw in that great playoff series against the Lakers in 03 or Dallas last year. Radmanovich, that's 3. That's short. Jerome James goes to get it. Rebound 7 for Jerome to go with 18 points.
Those are the rebounds they never like to give up an offensive rebound, but you just scored, you busted it out to 12. If you force a miss, you have a chance to get 14 or 15. Now you give them another shot to get back into the lead a little bit.
Nice ball fake, great ball movement. It is Allen. They keep this possession alive. Tom pointed this right before tip of Game 1. This is the strength of Seattle, weakness of Sacramento. Offensive boards, extra tries on trips. This is the 3rd attempt. Daniels down the lane. Found Allen. And they'll get free throws out of this minute possession. And a technical foul called on Antonio Daniels. So Blaine Reichelt quickly teed up Daniels there. So the foul is on Miller, and then the tee on Daniels. The foul is in the act, so we're going to get Ray Allen free throws, and then a tech that Sacramento will take when we come back. He wanted the foul earlier, and a very quick tee from the 24-year veteran official, Blaine Reichelt. All right, John, Legs and Greg. Miami and Phoenix, the 2 1 seeds, will be in position to do the closeout here on Sunday. You see Ray Allen, leader of this team, gathering the troops. Meantime, Mike Bibby has been the leader, not just in words, but in production tonight, Tom, especially compared to the 2 games up at Key Arena in Seattle.
Well, I think early on it all started with him getting to the rim and being aggressive and not just settling for jump shots. And that got him into a rhythm, got him into a flow. And they've been running that high pick and roll, and if the big guy isn't coming out on him, he's letting it go, and more often than not, it's finding the bottom of the net.
Mobley converts the technical foul that was called on Antonio Daniels, who comes to the bench. Former Bowling Green star, 4th pick in the draft overall. Sits as Luke Ridnour comes back. And now Ray Allen, who was fouled in the act of shooting, gets his 2. Much talked about. Allen, a free agent after this season, as are 8 of the 12 players on the Seattle playoff roster. But Ray was telling us before the game, part of this deal is we have gotten our act together as a team this year and have down very close personally. And Nate McMillamy in the same situation without a contract for next year. So it is not as much of a distraction as it could be for other teams. We all know that if we perform well as a team individually, the full rate will get paid. And that's the attitude they have, but it's not guys looking to do it on their own right now. A couple interesting subs there between free throws, Tom.
Well, what happened was Rashard Lewis comes in, and Redmanovich had to move over to the 4. So Rick Adamman quickly got Corliss Williamson out of the game and put Peja Stojakovic in the game so he could match up with Redmanovich. Oh, I'm sorry, Miller came out of the game, my bad.
And Corliss gets up. Corliss thought he was coming out because he turned as soon as the buzzer rang. He was ready to walk to the...
He was thinking what I was thinking.
But they're finding matchups here where they can use Corliss, which is important for a couple of reasons. The foul trouble, Kenny Thomas having 4, and Brad Miller is coming back from that leg injury. Rick can play him as many minutes as he hopes to, but just doesn't want to push it. They said, absent of somebody taking a bat and hitting his leg on the side, he's not going to do any further damage. Since Shane Stant, who was the one who hit Nancy Kerrigan in the leg with the bat, or whatever he hit at Detroit 10 years ago, is not playing for Seattle, he can get as many minutes out of Brad as possible.
See, I was thinking,
back to the line.
I was thinking Robert De Niro and Untouchables when he used the bat on the... Anyway, I think right now with Jerome James, the way he's been playing the last 3 games, and Corliss Williamson's going to have to guard him, you got to let him touch the ball here. You got to see if you can get Jerome James the ball and see if they'll double team or at least give him a chance to score on Corliss Williamson.
Great free throw shooting tonight. 2 excellent free throw shooting teams. Sacramento's worked it back to a 13-point lead. Allen off that quick curl knocks down the mid-range jumper that he honed so well under Jim Calhoun at Connecticut.
Or him. What do you know? It's an 11-point lead. Again. It's at some point Seattle's going to have to get some stops. Scoring hasn't been a problem here in the second half, but they need to string together a couple minutes where they shut Sacramento out.
Stojakovic on the tape. The presence of James denied the opportunity to score. That should be a foul on Williamson. And Eddie F. Rush has it. Absolutely. Corliss tied up Rashard Lewis. Loose ball foul on Sacramento. They have 3. Seattle 2, and with both teams shooting it well from the line, and the whistle stops more frequent here in the second half. It could play a big factor in our last 8 minutes. That magic single-digit barrier. Can Seattle get there?
Oh, nice. Ooh.
Rashard Lewis,
had him.
Not dialed in right now. You know, he's struggling. He's 1 of 8. Nothing coming easy. 6 to shoot for it now. They react to Radmanovich, used his dribble, lost the handle, got it away. James the rebound and the putback. Jerome James, 20 points and 9 rebounds. He's doing it again. This is like 3 of his 5 best scoring games ever in the playoffs in a row. Bibby, good ball movement to Mobley. Williamson spinning, drew the foul.
Well, one thing, you know, you have a mismatch on one end, but Corliss has a mismatch going against James on the offensive end. So get him the ball, let him use his speed and his quickness.
4 on Jerome James. Williamson is going to come out next opportunity for Brad Miller. But just as we had said, Corliss sitting on the bench, matchup-wise, couldn't find something. Rick Adamman and his staff have come up with the right opportunity here. And 8 minutes, 4 points doesn't look like a lot special, but it's an important stretch that he played here tonight.
Well, we know he can score. I mean, you get him around 15 feet, got a lot of offensive moves, very crafty, and he can get it done, especially when you have a big guy guarding him. He can get around him and use his quickness.
Missed the first, 1 more coming. One of 2 active players in the NBA who's won a collegiate championship and an NBA championship. His teammate Rip Hamilton with Detroit last year, the other one. Lead back up to 10 inside of 7.5 here in Game 3. Highest scoring Sacramento total of the series. 82 Game 1, 93 Game 2.
Got him.
Big fella mismatch. Good job. Williamson was right up his face. Shot clock did not reset. Lewis has to get rid of it. Don't think he knows it. Oh, they say he got rid of it in time, and Rashard Lewis gets his second field goal. 8 points, under 7. Bibby slicing through. Pounded in a foul.
How good has he been tonight? Watch him jump into James. I mean, he didn't even give him a chance to get off the ground to block that shot. He initiated the contact. Watch, right here. Jump into him, throw the ball up. First priority, make sure I get to the free throw line, draw a foul on James, and now you have a chance to complete a three-point play.
Mike Bibby's playoff high is 36. He has 29 here tonight, easily outpacing his first two games combined. Williamson out, Brad Miller back in. Allen backing on Mobley. Tough shot. Well defended by Coutinho. Miller off the bench, gets the board. His third of the night. Sacramento for a knockout punch. Bibby fouled before he got to the basket. It's on Radmanovic. His fourth. Fortune has 5. James has 5. Radmanovic has 4. And now Sacramento will shoot free throws the rest of the way in the penalty at the halfway point of the fourth.
The ultra aggressiveness that he started off with, he's continuing on with here in the quarter. I mean, it just makes so much difference when he's not settling for jump shots. He can get to the rim. He can draw fouls. He's a player who is such a good shooter. He falls into the trap, I believe, sometimes of just pumping him from the outside. Well, he certainly has that ability to get to the lane and make things happen.
How different from the fourth quarter last game of this series where he sat on the bench with the other starters. Angry, upset. Riddenauer's had a good game. He misses his first shot back. Mobley the rebound, fouled by Riddenauer. So Sacramento taking control of this game here in the fourth.
Well, the one thing you know in the playoffs, and we've seen it so far to hold true except for Memphis, you go up 2-0, you're going to get the team's best effort in Game 3.
The team that's down 0-2.
The team that's down is 0-2, coming home. You got the crowd behind you. You're a playoff team. You expect them to come out and play well and play hard and have the crowd behind them.
Nets last night?
Absolutely. Nets last night, Philly tonight. Now, I'm not sure what happened down in Memphis because that was a blowout from about midway third quarter on. But this is a very good basketball team. A lot of these guys have been deep in the playoffs. They have their pride on the line tonight, and they have certainly responded.
And so have their fans. Sellout crowd at Arco. They've been up most of the night. The home team up 15 halfway through the fourth. Game 3. Thank you, John. Some plays of the night out of these guys as well. How about the starters getting the job done for Sacramento? All but 13 of their 108 points have come from the starting group tonight. Stojakovic 10 to go with these high shooting percentage evenings from Bibby and company.
Well, in the first half, we talked about Mike Bibby being aggressive. Really, it's been the entire team. I mean, in the second half, 26 field goal attempts, 25 free throw attempts.
Wow.
And that's not just settling for jump shots.
And Marty Aronoff with us, as always. Nobody would rather have with you during the playoffs. 6 to shoot, Jerome James. Working on Miller. Jerome James, among other things. And he now has 22 points here on the night. That equals his season high. He's making some money because his contract is up.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, what's going to happen next? Mr. T win an Oscar?
Miller comes down the lane. James has 5, has to be careful, and Miller traveled. Jim Gray, what's going on over there?
Michael, when we talked to Jerome before the game, I asked him how he has been able to endure all of the criticism, and his teammates said nobody has gone through more the past several years than Jerome has gone through. He says, well, I snapped a lot, but I only snapped at home. I never snapped publicly. Said, Ruth and Jesse James have high character. Those are his parents. They raised 10 kids in 3 rooms. You know, his dad was a longshoreman and a preacher, and he just said, I've had the proper character. I always thought I could contribute. I've always thought I would make it. Now I'm doing it. So I'm where I thought I would be. It's just taking a little longer, and I'm still continuing to grow. Right?
His mom was a librarian in addition to their dad's jobs as well. It was one of those stories that Jim and I kind of looked at each other like, wow, it's just, what a story this guy is. And not only that, when he was struggling last year, and he admits he was a bad teammate, and you see what he's done. He's now become an unexpected scoring source, tying his career high in points in tonight's game. Radmanovich a 3. Off the rim, Leisure rebound pushed out by Rashard Lewis. Now, I know Seattle's probably not going to win this game, but James continues to be their amazing story here. He was not a great teammate. Ray Allen said it. He was selfish. And Ray kind of watched out for Jerome along the way and tried. He said, I sit next to him at the locker room in our facility. Just try to always talk to him, So after his mom told him, you know what, I read a newspaper story in the Seattle papers on the internet, and that's not the kid I raised. The way you're being selfish, you're not being a good teammate. So after his mom called him, we kind of talked it into him. He picked up the phone, called Ray Allen, and said, Ray, I will listen now. Tell me what I've done wrong. He started this season coming back with a different attitude. Had moments, but always got in foul trouble this year. And obviously, in this playoff series, 3 of his 5 best scoring games in his career. Now, 277 games, regular and postseason. It's quite a story developing in these playoffs.
Well, amazing is an understatement. It's an absolute understatement. Talking about a guy 5 and 4 throughout the year. Nice drive by Ray Allen. I mean, really, to have one game like this, I think, would be a bonus. The way he's playing and his confidence is showing. No one, I guarantee, I don't care how much you know about basketball, could have ever come close to guessing this.
Sacramento up 13, 4.5 to go. Seattle desperate for some stops here. You know, a couple of stops and threes could change playoff games, but Mobley stays aggressive, gets to 21, and pushes the lead back to 15.
Well, they may be able to get a couple threes, but they haven't gotten any stops. I mean, Sacramento's been unbelievably efficient on offense.
Allen on the drive. Gets it back to 13. Sacramento is shooting 53% from the field tonight. That wins most playoff games. Seattle allowed the opponents to shoot 46%. That was the bottom 5 in the league this year.
The thing about Seattle this year that's interesting, they actually shot lower than their opponents throughout the regular season. It's usually not a great sign, but they made up for that by shooting more threes and making more threes.
A 3 here would get it to 10. Radmanovich has not had the stroke in the second half. And Rick Adams right there in front of Mike Tinsley. Hey, slam those brakes off. Let's settle down. Play some half court. Milk the clock. And Rick's going to take a timeout just to make sure his Sacramento team is ready to close this game out. Seattle, so proficient from behind the arc, has missed its last 7 3-point shots. It's allowed Sacramento to keep this lead right around 9, 11, or right now, 13. Capital California, Sacramento on this 7th night of the 2005 NBA playoffs. This is the Green Bay Packers of the NFL. There is one team in this town. It's the Sacramento Kings. And everybody in town, I mean the cab drivers, the people at the hotel, the waitresses and waiters, they knew our starters got to show up here in Game 3 or basketball season's going to end on May 1st. Well, tonight they have showed up. 99 points from the starters for the Sacramento Kings tonight on terrific shooting. 35 makes out of those 63 shots. They've been very good. The team has shot 52%. The Kings are up 13 with 3:15 to go as Coutinho Mobley misses and Seattle has to hit some threes to stay in this. We remind you that Sports Center comes your way as soon as our game's done here in Sacramento. Lewis steps back, takes 3. Missed it again. They missed their last 8.
If you're Rashard Lewis right now, even if you don't win this game, you'd like to at least start feeling pretty good about yourself. Do something positive in the last 3 minutes of the game here.
And what you've got to like as a former player, Tom, is what he just did there. Tried the 3, didn't hang his head, went to the glass, tried to force it with an offensive rebound, ends up drawing the foul. And both teams now over the limit with 2:55 to go.
Oh, just little things can get you going. I mean, he has really struggled in the last couple games. Just not shooting very well. You see 2 for 10 in this game. you want something to feel good about. You want something to carry over into the next game and feel like, okay, my stroke is back, or I feel like I'm moving a little bit better. I feel like I can do this to this guy. You want to have something when you come back. That's not going to help. When you come back to the next game that you feel positive about, because he's struggled 2 games in a row now shooting the basketball.
Lewis shooting 3 of 12 in Seattle in Game 2. SportsCenter will follow us, recap of these 3 NBA playoff games tonight. Bibby dribbled it off of James's foot. Allen is fouled. Was it in the backcourt or the front court? Will it be a clear path foul or just a foul? It is clear path. So it'll be 1 shot and possession for Seattle. Kenny Thomas is whistled for the foul, his 5th.
It'll be 1 shot and possession for Seattle.
So Seattle will get it after Allen takes this free throw. Could get it to 8 on this trip if they hit a 3, and then all of a sudden it's going to get a little tighter for Rick Adelman's team.
Well, you got 4 guys out there that are able to shoot the 3. But what you need is one of the guys to start off by breaking their defender down and then make sure you kick it out. Don't just try to jack one with somebody right in your face.
Ray Allen, 25 of 26 from the line in this series, has 32 points. You got 2 guys to give him screen help, but Mobley's fighting through everything. Good job by Coutinho defensively. So Allen's going to go close, get James diving, couldn't finish. And Bibby gets the rebound, and the foul is on Seattle. That would have been a huge conventional 3-point play. Instead, James has fouled out.
I see Allen doing a nice job getting in there, dishing it off just a little bit long, and then, Brad Miller had the position there. Drum James raked him across the arms.
You see this guy with a garbage bag. I'll explain that story in a second. You may have heard it. James fouls out, tied his career high with 22 points and 9 rebounds. James told the media the story that when he was cut by Sacramento, the team that drafted him, gave him his chance in the NBA, that when he was cut, they gave him a garbage bag and sent him out the door. That was part of the story. He was sent out with equipment bags and other stuff, and this was clarified during the week by both James and Rick Adelman. And Jerome said, they did give me a garbage bag. I had so much stuff. So it wasn't like Rick Adelman kicked him to the curb and said, you'll never play again. James came back, 330 pounds, out of shape. His knee was just not rehabbing properly. Jerome told us pregame they were taking water off my knee every day after practice. So the story is a nice one for a guy coming back against his old team. Slightly overblown that they sent him to the curb with a garbage bag and told him to hit the road. Rick Adelman felt bad about the way it was portrayed, and Jerome James kind of felt bad that it was taken that way.
The story's not quite as good, though, that way.
It's not. Nobody was making stuff up, but it wasn't the full truth. Keisha, a 3. Off the mark, Collison gets the rebound. It's 12. Got to get him in a hurry. Lewis couldn't haul it in, and that's the way his night is gone. Although it was a tough pass thrown by Allen.
I can't remember being at a Kings game and having so many of Peja Stojakovic shots be, I mean, he cannot get it going.
3 of 11. Fans sensing this one. They're a hoop away from a knockout punch. Brad Miller. This will be a loose ball foul. Come down the other way. It'll be whistled, and a technical foul has been called by Blaine Ryko. It's the second that Blaine has called. 3rd one in this game. And Coutinho Mobley, I believe, picked up the team, in addition to a personal foul. Steve Berthiaume, Stanford settling in for SportsCenter, available on ESPN HD. The playoffs, Clemens and Maddox, and T.O. making news at minicamp. Oh my God, enough. SportsCenter coming up here in a few minutes.
Oh, the goodwill you can handle. Everything going your way. No. Gotta have controversy.
21 points from Mobley, 7 of 14 from the field. So Ridnour will come get some free throws here, and it could be, as Luke makes the first one, a 3-possession game, 3 threes, with 1:19 to go. So 3 points for Seattle.
with the clock not moving.
Then the defense will court.
Well, if you're Sacramento, you just run the shot clock down to about 7 or 8 seconds before you get into your offense. You don't want to wait too long and get up a horrible shot, but right now, your main concern is making sure you get that shot clock down under 10 and shoot with maybe around 5 seconds left.
Just for the stop. Adam was telling Bibby, don't go till 10. He did. Now 4 to shoot. The handoff from Miller. Bibby draws Collison. He fires. Short, but Bobby Jackson gets the rebound. Hughes and that other point guard on the floor. Going to put this one away. Take it down to 10 and do it again. Pick and roll with Miller. Kick out to Bobby Jackson for 3. Check, please. We're done in Sacramento.
Well, everybody kept saying, what was wrong with the Kings? Where was the energy? Where was the passion? Where was the leadership? Where was the shooting? Well, they found it tonight. Series doesn't start until a road team takes the game. This is 2-1 and right on track to be a good one.
Game 4 Sunday here. There'll be a Game 5 Tuesday at Seattle. And we have a series in the 3-6 out west. Sacramento wins by a dozen. Mike Bibby, 31, 7 boards, 4 assists. Ray Allen had 33. Jerome James equaled his career high with 22 points and 9 boards. It wasn't enough. Kings by 12 with Tom Tobin and Jim Gray, Mike Sirico. Remember, the playoffs continue tomorrow night on ESPN with Boston, Indiana.